Hello guys, so welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Germana and today it's time of another episode of my Business Italian course. Today I'm going to tell you how you can introduce yourself both in formal and in informal situations, what gestures usually go with an introduction, what common phrases you can use, and how you can describe yourself. And to help you achieve this goal, there's a free PDF file that goes with today's lesson, which you can use to support your learning. In the PDF file, you'll find a summary of today's lesson, plus some examples to help you master what we are going through today. So be sure to download it by clicking on the Google Drive link down below in the description box. But first guys, if you want to see any other Italian business videos from me in the future, just make sure to subscribe down below and turn on my post notifications so you never miss another upload. Are you ready? Let's get started! Introducing ourselves can be one of the most terrifying things to do, but also one of the most exciting, someone would say. It all depends on our aptitude. The line between the two emotions is very subtle, and today I want to give you some useful tools to help you master your professional communication skill. Before you continue with this video, I suggest you refresh your mind with this video up here, which will help you recap 10 different and basic ways to greet someone in Italian. So what's important for me today is that you'll be ready to say at least who you are, where you come from, and give information about yourself depending on the context and the situation. Can be during a business meeting or in a job interview or even at a party, but politely. Remember, in this series of Business Italian videos, we are focusing on professional communication, more specifically on the language you'll use when in touch with people you work together with. Okay, so now let's start with number 1 of today's agenda. How you can introduce yourself both in formal and in informal situations. The very first step is to know whether to use the formal address 𝚷𝙸𝙶𝙷𝙻 or the informal address 𝚷𝙸𝙁𝚃. Basically, you want to use the formal address with people that you don't know or that are older or that perform a higher duty than you, like your boss, manager, CEO. On the opposite, you want to use the informal address with your friends, family, or people who are your age or even younger. So let's see an example of a formal situation. Buongiorno. Piacere di conoscerla. What did you notice in this scene? Yes, I shook my hand to introduce myself to the other person. And listen carefully. We Italians are very used to introduce ourselves by shaking our hands. And this is also something, I guess, that is pretty common, especially in the Western countries. But the perception the other person would have on you really depends on what culture they belong. So what gestures usually go with an introduction in Italy? Well, if you shake your hand quite tightly and with intention, let's say, you'll be perceived quite positively. Indeed, a very tight and firm handshake is very appreciated and also considered synonymous with honesty and virility. In short, you really make a good impression if you shake your hand this way, but do not exaggerate, of course. Sometimes it's also common to greet the other person giving them 2 kisses, one for each cheek. In Italy, we are very used to give 2 kisses to our friends, our family members, and in general to people who are very close to us. But you can also find yourself receiving 2 kisses from a person that you don't know while you're introducing yourself, maybe by shaking your hand, and that's not a strange thing. So don't be surprised by that, it can happen and it's a way to show you affection and joy. Important note, if you go to the south of Italy, especially in Sicily, you can easily bump into someone greeting you with just 1 kiss. Only one on 1 cheek. And this is nothing strange because this is part of the Italian cultural variety. Unfortunately, and I'm very sad to say that, this is becoming increasingly rare due to the pandemic situation. All of these gestures have been almost banned for safety reasons. Anyway, what happens if instead during a business meeting or in a formal situation you just want to switch to informal? Because this can easily happen if you work in team and you need a more close relationship with your colleagues. So you can easily ask your interlocutor to use the informal address, and you can ask something like "Posso darle del tu?", which means "Can I just address you informally?" If you're wondering what le stands for in the verb darle, go and check out my videos up here in which I'll tell you how and when to use both direct and indirect object pronouns correctly. Let's see now what common phrases you can use to introduce yourself. You can start with mi chiamo, name, or sono, name, or simply your name. They all mean my name is. Let's see an example. Mi chiamo Ivana Rosati. But if you want to be even more detailed in your introduction, you can simply add your job role or what most identifies you in that specific situation. Let's see an example. Mi chiamo Ivana Rosati e sono la direttrice artistica del progetto. What if instead we want to ask our interlocutor personal information about them? You can ask "E lei come si chiama?" "E tu come ti chiami?" And then add "Piacere di conoscerla." "Piacere di conoscerti." If instead you want to reply the other person that you're simply pleased to meet them, you can say "Piacere mio." "Nice to meet you." Or "Molto lieto" or "lieta." "Very glad." Or "Lieto di conoscerla" or "Lieta di conoscerla" in formal situations. Or "Lieto di conoscerti" or "Lieta di conoscerti" in informal situations. Glad to meet you. Okay, so after the first introduction, you can start saying something more about yourself and describe your background, like where you come from, or maybe you can ask the following questions to your interlocutor to start some small talk. Di dov'è in formal situations, or di dove sei in informal situations. Where are you from? Di che città or paese è in formal situations, or di che città or paese sei in informal situations. What city or country are you from? Dove vive in formal situations, or dove vivi in informal situations. Where do you live? Da dove viene in formal situations, or da dove vieni in informal situations. Where do you come from? Your answer could be sono di city name. I'm from city name. Vengo da city name. I come from city name. Sono nationality. I'm nationality. An example: vengo da Roma. Sono di Roma. Sono italiana. If you want to ask in turn where your interlocutor is from, you can ask e lei or e tu di dov'è in formal situations, or di dove sei in informal situations. Another interesting question you can ask your interlocutor if, for example, you are abroad or maybe your interlocutor is from another country, is asking them how long they've been living in that place. An example: da quanto tempo vive a city name in formal situations, or da quanto tempo vivi a city name? How long have you been living in city name? An example: da quanto tempo vive a Torino? The answer to this question could be vivo a city name da period of time. I've been living in city name for period of time. An example: vivo a Torino da un anno. Or maybe you can ask how long they're gonna stay in that place. Quanto tempo si fermerà qui? In formal situations. Quanto tempo ti fermerai qui? In informal situations. How long will you stay here? And the answer could be mi fermerò qui per period of time. I'll stay here for period of time. An example, mi fermerò qui per 6 mesi, or starò qui per period of time. I'll stay here for period of time. Starò qui per 6 mesi. Or maybe you can ask information about their job. Da quanto tempo si occupa di job role in formal situations? Or da quanto tempo ti occupi di job role in informal situations? How long have you been working on job role? An example, da quanto tempo si occupa di digital marketing? Or di cosa si occupa in formal situations? Or di cosa ti occupi in informal situations? What's your business? Or che lavoro fa in formal situations? Or che lavoro fai in informal situations? What's your job? Or even che cosa fa in formal situations? Or che cosa fai in informal situations? What do you do? And the answers to these questions could be: mi occupo di business role da period of time. I'm in charge of business role for period of time. An example, mi occupo di digital marketing da 2 anni. Or sono job role. I'm job role. An example, sono un ingegnere. If you want to know their age instead, you can simply ask quanti anni ha in formal situations, or quanti anni hai in informal situations. How old are you? And the answer could be ho, your age. I'm your age. An example, ho 40 anni. And finally, let's suppose you're in a meeting and want to introduce a new team member. You can say something like: le presento name in formal situations, or ti presento name in informal situations. An example, le presento Christian, or lui è name, or lei è name, or posso presentarle name in formal situations, or posso presentarti name in informal situations. Conosce name in formal situations, or conosci name in informal situations. An example, posso presentarle Christian. Conosci Christian. Okay, let's now see how it works. A typical introduction between two people who are getting to know each other, maybe before a business meeting. Let's see what happens. Buongiorno, piacere di conoscerla. Mi chiamo Ivana Rosati e sono la direttrice artistica del progetto. Piacere mio, Annie. Di dov'è? Sono italiana, di Verona. Posso darle del tu? Certamente. Da dove vieni, Annie? Vengo da Bristol, in Inghilterra. Da quanto tempo ti occupi di ufficio stampa? Mi occupo di ufficio stampa da 10 anni. Quanti anni hai? Ho 41 anni. E tu? Io ho 45 anni. Posso presentarti Lorenzo, il nostro stagista? Certo! So good, that's all for today's lesson. This is all I wanted to tell you about how you can introduce yourself in Italian and also have a pleasant small talk at work. I hope that my tips for you today will help improve your professional communication skills and feel more confident in a conversation in Italian. Of course, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section down below, and also let me know what's your aptitude when it comes to introducing yourself. Do you find it terrifying or exciting? Plus, don't forget that I've been teaching online on 𝚅𝚁, so now if you want to get to know me and book a trial lesson with me, you can find all the information in the description box down below. On 𝚅𝚁, you can have the possibility to have one-on-one online lessons whenever and wherever you want, and all you need is just a long and stable internet connection. In my opinion, this is definitely the most efficient way to reach language fluency. So click on the link in the description box to earn 10 USD 𝚅𝚁 credits when you sign up for your first lesson. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to connect with me, you can find me on my Facebook, Instagram and Twitter account. See you next time. Ciao!